If you want to quickly learn Sagat and hit that master rank and beyond, let me quickly show you how. So I've been in the lab and playing up to master for like the past 2 or 3 hours. I want to show you what to do with Sagat. Some of it's going to be a little cheesy and I'll let you know if it is, but some of it's going to be kind of the fundamental things you're going to do with him. Doesn't this like character select look too wide at first? Like I'm used to it now, I don't mind it, but every time it first shows up, I'm like, what? Anyway, we'll practice against Mai because she's Mai. So obviously Sagat is like a fundamentals based character, right? In a way, he has a good projectile, he has a good DP, he has good normal. So you're going to want to play in that way, but we're playing Street Fighter 6, so there's obviously much more to that. The first thing I want to mention is that his low tiger shot is pretty bad. It has a 50 frame startup. If we look at Mai, hers is 48 and hers is already not good. I think Ryu's is like 44, 45, Guile's is 40. So his low tiger shot is not particularly good. You will get jumped in on if you're using it too obvious. And as you can expect, his high tiger shots are much better. They're 42 frame startup, which gives you much more time to kind of recover an anti-air if someone tries to jump them, but they lose to crouchers. So that's the first thing I want to talk about is how and when you're going to use each fireball. Because as we talked about, he's a character who you're going to want to zone with to an extent, especially in some matchups. So now you might be asking, why would you ever use the low tiger shot? Well, you can still get like decent anti-airs if people jump late because it doesn't move particularly fast. And you should still use it from this range as like an extended poke because they have to block it or jump preemptively or like be just so cracked that they beat it early. Whereas from this range, even though these fireballs are better, they're much more useless, quote unquote, because you can just get like swept, right, if they're crouching. When you're zoning with your high tiger shots, which are very good from like this range, the kind of reason you want to use each one, I would say this is like a rough idea, but you're going to want to go from here, is that use your heavy one if you're going to do multiple tiger shots in a row because it gets off screen very quick, right? So if I do this, it's off screen, I can do a second one. If I do this medium one, you see how I did a new one and it didn't come out because it's moving off screen much more slowly. Even when it's technically off screen, it's still there because there's like space behind Mai that we can't see. So even though it's off screen here, the next one doesn't come out, right? Whereas the heavy one, I'm gonna do 2 in a row. It's very quick. Even if she does duck it from this range, I could throw the next one right away. I could throw the low one. Even if she ducks it from this range, I could throw the low one, etc. Right? So if you're going to do multiple in a row, I would recommend going heavy if you're in a range where they can't just like crouch it and sweep you. If you're going to follow behind it, like a drive rush or something, the medium one's way better because it moves slower. Even if you just want to walk behind it or dash, you don't have to drive rush. Use the medium one in that regard. That's what we'll start with the zoning. Now, if they're jumping, you want to use your light DP the most. The medium one's a bit slower. It's 10 frames. I promise you, if you use the medium one too much, you'll have situations where you jumped in, someone jumped in, you press it, and they blocked in time. It's a little too slow. It's kind of like Ed's. This heavy one is extremely slow. It's 18 frames, but it reaches very far across the screen. You still can use it if someone jumps this extremely late. You can use it, but it's going to be much more rare. Just use the light one in most scenarios that you're going to anti-air, okay? You can also use his back heavy punches anti-air, but it trades a lot. And one thing you're going to want to get used to doing for sure is when people neutral jump a lot, use this forward heavy kick. This is classic Sagat. Someone neutral jumps and they get hit by your level 3 for fun. This is really good in the corner. For whatever reason, people love neutral jumping in the corner. Someone does it. You could even like, oh, they're already halfway up. You can react pretty late with it. So get used to doing that. You get full combos. I'm not going to go over every single optimal combo because that's stuff that gets kind of figured out as the character gets more fleshed out, but we'll talk about some basic ones. So yeah, that's for the most part is zoning. You're going to want to press fireballs with intention. Use specific ones. Don't just press randomly, right? These are all pretty different relative to what they let you do. This one's very fast, gets off the screen quick. This one's very slow. They have to block it or jump it or parry it. You can't just crouch it. So they do have purpose. When it comes to normals, he has a lot of good normals that aren't special cancelable, but just because they're not special cancelable doesn't mean you shouldn't use it. This is one that reaches halfway across the fucking screen, and you can actually confirm it into a target combo. And after this target combo, you can actually get a meaty tiger knee here, which will always be plus on block. I don't recommend using this long term. This kind of sits into the cheese thing I was talking about earlier. It's not really cheese, like it'll always work. But if people get used to it, like Mai used to do stuff like this, Terry used to have stuff like this with Burn Knuckle, but people don't really use it anymore. It's because when people know, it's like kind of just parry bait because they're getting up anyway, right? What else do they have to pay attention to? Or they'll just start buffering their DP. They notice you did it, they press it. They notice you didn't do it, they go back to blocking, right? But for now, it's not a bad option if you want to keep your pressure. But I don't know if it's something I would want to rely on long term. But yeah, good move in general, good for poking. Couch medium kick is also very good. Just because you can't cancel it doesn't mean you shouldn't use it. Sagat does not have a lot of low threat, so if you notice people walk back a lot, you should press it. It's still, you know, 600 damage. It's annoying. It pushes them far enough back that you can start being annoying with your knees or your tiger shots. It's good. And now for cancelable normals, the two kind of god buttons he has here is his crouch medium punch. It's very similar to Cammy's, I actually think, where the entire frame data is almost the same, 7 frames, 26 total. Reaches very far. It's very similar to Cammy's crouch medium punch. You're going to be pressing it a lot. And his crouch heavy punch, which is kind of like a god button, but it's 35 frames total, so you don't want to whiff it for fun because you will get whiff punished. But there's a lot you could do with this. One really strong thing is just to buffer heavy and medium tiger shot, EX tiger shot. If you do the light version, he'll do the low one, but you want to do high, because if this hits, if someone walks into this, or let's say she's trying to walk up, do this, and she ends up walking into my buffer, you actually get a full combo, 3.3k damage, they're full screen, you can start tiger shotting, whatever, right? It's very, very strong. You can also just buffer drive rushes from this. Very good move. Same with this one. The same, pretty much how Cammy uses it, right? And yeah, Sagat has good normals, good projectiles, but it's Street Fighter 6. You're going to want to go in. You're going to want to use that green bar. So what we do here. Now, his actual raw drive rush is not very good. It's very Manon-like, where he's not going very far. He can just kind of hold it to go further. And then you can get medium punches like that, but it's a little slow. At this exact round start range, you can actually start the game with a medium tiger knee, and this actually works a lot, by the way. For some reason, I swear it just beats so many options people do. It'll go over some fireballs, it'll beat some drive rush attempts. And yeah, if she tries to mash after, you'll get a frame trap like this. If you ever end a combo in a heavy uppercut, you actually can dash forward and be +4. You can also drive rush forward and get okay. So let's say she tries to wake up crouch light punch as well. We'll do the exact same string here. You can meaty the shit out of her. You can also go for an overhead, but this overhead will not be meaty. You have to train them to not press buttons. And yeah, that's anytime you end a combo with heavy uppercut. If you anti-air with a light uppercut, you get a similar scenario where if you just follow her far enough, you will get a meaty stand medium punch, which is super plus. And you're going to want to do that to get your turn going. So what happens if they block your medium punch, which is going to happen a lot? So a lot of times you're going to drive rush at them on wake up and whatever, they're going to block this medium punch. It's +6 on block, which is pretty insane. You can do a lot from this. But one thing, you can do a second medium punch to eat at their drive gauge. Is actually a true block string, and you're still +2. Something I've been doing sometimes is like these three. And he has a lot of frame traps in general that are really strong. The most crazy thing about this character, I think people are going to complain about this, is this quarter circle back kick. If you do this string, let's make her mash after 3, and we'll do this exact string. Boom, she gets clocked in the face. It's a frame trap out of crouch medium punch. It's a very, very strong move. And the follow-up, it's like a Jinrai where the follow-up is also a frame trap. So we go 1, 2, she mashes, she gets hit. Now let's say she doesn't mash. Well, then you have to block this standing and it's punishable. But if you notice they're blocking standing always, you can do this follow-up, which is the medium kick. The first one I was doing was the light kick. You do the medium kick version, you're +4. If they're always respecting you, you do the heavy kick version, which is +2, but it'll hit on crouching or standing. This medium kick follow-up only hits standing opponents. So if people are trying to stop this light one and they start standing to block it, you can use the medium kick version, or if you want to be super safe, you can use the heavy kick version. I'm not going to go too hard into this move right now because I actually think it's really, really broken. Like the more I look into it, is that when it comes to these two follow-ups, the light or the medium, which is what almost everyone's going to do, I think, for like the first day or two, I think it's very much fuzzyable, where you could block high for a sec and then do crouch jab and you'll duck under the medium. But if you start doing that and the Sagat ends up doing this instead, you can catch your fuzzy. Even if you didn't mash, you'll be +2. So I actually do think he has an option pretty much no matter what you do. And the crazy thing about it is that you can't just DP through it like you can with Ken, right? So if Ken was to do this to you and he stopped with his Jinrai, your DP would hit him unless he spaced it very, very well. Sagat can just block here and he gets a crazy punish that I dropped. So that's a lot of your block pressure is going into this move. It's so degenerate. People will not be able to deal with it for like a week or two. And even when they do, there'll be counterplay on the Sagat's end that you're gonna have to learn. But for now, I'm telling you, just pick one of them. I would default to doing the light follow-up. If you notice people are good at blocking it or they're parrying it, don't do a follow-up at all. You can go for a grab. Do the heavy follow-up if they're over-respecting it, or if they're just blocking high, do the medium follow-up. All of these lead to plus frames or a hit, and it's very, very, very strong. Another really good thing about his block pressure is that he gets kind of spacing traps for free. So let's say I do crouch light kick and 2 light punches, my medium kick will just miss. A lot of people tend to mash after 3 normalies in this game, and you can get the fattest punish ever by just spacing trapping with 3 lights, which is very good. A lot of characters will not push you out of range to mash back on them in this string, right? So that's very good. That's something you want to go do a lot. If you notice people mash after 3 lights, which a lot of people do, well, just walk back for like a frame, not even, and you get a free spacing trap. If you just want to be safe, you can also just end with not a knee. The knee will go over mash as well, which I'll talk about in a sec, but you can just go for a light tiger shot, which would be like -3 if they block, I think. Now, this is cheesy, so I don't recommend doing it too much, but if someone's always just crouch blocking, respecting you, doing a light tiger knee after these 3 jabs will make you +2, and you can kind of restart your turn. This loses to just, you know, standing, so I wouldn't recommend getting used to it, but it's worth knowing. Even if they do standing, you're -2, so it's not the end of the world. You can YOLO DP if you're an animal. But yeah. The Sagat counterplay, I think, will be if you don't want to challenge him after this, just start walking back. He doesn't have a very threatening low. And if he does knee, you'll be fine. But as a Sagat player now, a lot of people are just going to hold down crouch. Okay, so that's pretty much the big basis of our pressure from full screen, you know, zoning, and our pressure from jabs and whatnot. We're going to want to use a lot of stand medium punch. It's plus. We're going to want to use drive rush into frame traps like this. You're going to want to experiment with which Jinrai follow-ups you do against certain players. This is all good stuff. Another really strong one, actually, that this is kind of insane, actually, is that even if someone mashes a crouching light punch, and you do a crouching medium punch into EX, you get a counter hit, which you can get a combo off. You can actually combo off it, and this is insane because this move is +6. You know how annoying this is? You can literally do this, and there's no gap besides you have to DP. If she mashes a crouch light punch at any point here, I'm just gonna do a random amount of hits. She'll just get hit at one point, right? So this is kind of insane. She would have to DP between these 2 hits right here, boom, or super. Because yeah, this is +6. This is a 7 frame move, that's 1 frame gap. And then as we just talked about, the actual medium punch into the high tiger shot, and it hits crouchers will combo. And you can get a combo there. You can even get a level 3, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, very, very good block pressure. This guy's really scary if you block him, and he's really scary from full screen, so that's it. Now, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about combos, but one thing you're going to want to do a lot is, because you're going to be buffering this move, sometimes you'll just buffer with a drive rush. Just doing crouch stand medium punch is good because you don't have to hit confirm even if they block. We talked about this earlier. This is going to be +6. You can go into all the block pressure we talked about earlier. And if it hits, you can go into a back heavy punch, which will go into a heavy tiger knee, into a DP, into a level 3, whatever you want, okay? If you know it'll hit, you can actually just go straight into a back heavy punch, which is a bit of a stronger combo because you get the quarter circle back heavy Rekka, which is very, very strong. And that applies to this as well, right? In terms of just doing lights, you're going to want to do a medium DP because the heavy won't reach. This doesn't give you good Oki. So off lights, that's pretty much what we want to do. You can also do something like this off lights into a combo. You do whatever the thing we talked about earlier. I don't think the combos are that important right now. You're going to want to do some basic stuff, right? You're going to do... I got to Masters like an hour or 2, and like, because I wasn't really labbing combos, I know how to do them, but you know, when you're new, you get a new character, you're not always have the most memory. Half my combos, no joke, just look like this. Something like this because I need to cash out, whatever. I'm just doing medium, stand medium, crouch medium off my drive rushes. Towards the end, I got used to doing this one a bit more. Yeah, the combos aren't a huge deal. The characters are new. You're going to get better at those as you go. You want to follow the game plan we talked about with which tiger shots you use from which range, how you structure your block pressure because it's really scary if you do, and how you follow up after that. Also worth noting that if you ever hit this move, you're +3 in their face, so you can, you know, do a little strike throw action. And yeah, you put all that together, I promise you'll rush to Masters very quick. Just, you know, don't troll your low tiger shots to get jumped in on too much. Make sure you keep your block strings tight because people are going to mash some DIs on you. And yeah, I promise you'll just soar to Master if you follow these, this game plan, put it all together. I'll see you in Masters. We'll fight for a spot in Legend. Not really, but stay beautiful, my friends. I appreciate like, comment, subscription. I will have a Sagat counterplay guide up next. So if you actually want to know how to beat this guy, stick around for that. Stay beautiful, my friends. I'll see you in the next one.